Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another segment with Mr. Eivind. Eivind, how are you, my friend?
I'm well. It goes okay.
Yeah, well, I know you're short on the euro dollar still, right?
Yes, I am.
Hey, look at that. We agree on something, and we're both in the same trade. That's a great day. Well, actually, your entry was a little bit better than mine. What's your thoughts on euro dollar today, and what are you looking at?
Yeah, MT4. It's okay. It goes okay. Whoops, that was the wrong screen. But it goes okay. We are falling at the moment on euro, so it's still it's still good. I'm not complaining at all.
And Ivan, what's your take on everything going on with the situation Russia Ukraine? What's your take on that today?
Volatility. Lavrov is saying one thing, which is Secretary of State of Russia. America saying one thing, and it's like back and forth. So what we have seen today, we have seen dollar weaken, dollar strengthening. So whoever says what is going to move the market in the opposite direction. So Twitter is going to be all those news sites that is going to be instant information is the key today.
Yes, and I think from what I could tell, I'm not, like I said, I said in my stream, I'm not totally qualified to give a full blown analysis of the perspective or anything like that. But what I do know is just the looming danger or the looming idea of it. It's the rumor, right? It's the rumor of anything, and we're seeing that impact the market in terms of a heavy tilt towards risk off sentiment. And you actually called us. You were the one we chatted about this with last week with Euro USD. We discussed the fact that the euro becomes less attractive because of its proximity to the whole situation. I mean, you got Europe right there, and then Ukraine right to the right.
That is Europe. That is Ukraine, and that is Russia. So Russia is like that border there. So Also, first of all, it is because Russia is supplying gas to Europe and to Ukraine. Also oil, and that's just the financial side of it. And then you have the fear of a war in middle of Europe with NATO, with America, with Russia in the center of Europe. So it's kind of like to have it is in the center and it's in the heart. So the fear or the implication it might lead to is much greater than if it happens in Siberia.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing about markets. I try and explain this on my channel. I know you're keen on it as well. It's the looming fear that is almost more important than the actual news. It's the always what could be coming next and what's the uncertainty. And just the uncertainty alone is enough to cause risk off sentiment to come flooding into the markets, which is why we're seeing some of the yen pairs moving lower. For example, pound yen, we discussed that last week. I'm a little bit more bearish on, I'm not bearish, I'm not shorting it per se, but it's definitely a little bit more concerning than I was, a week or two ago. So what's your thoughts on the yen pairs today?
I remember this to be Friday. Yeah, that's the Friday news where America where they're like, well, we're ready for anything. And then today, this morning, London opened after that news because they were close at that point. And then we have seen it falling. And now that was Lavrov saying that they want to talk. So that's the thing. It's going to move the dollar, it's going to move the yen, it's going to move the gold, and it's going to move the oil. And it's like the Brexit times. I don't know if you remember those, but those were crazy. It was 200 or 300 pips up and down from one day to the other one. It just depended if it was the prime minister or an inside source, or if it was Europe who said something, and they will have opposite opinions, saying opposite things, and we were all over the place. Yes. That's what's going to happen again this time around. Also, the demand from Russia is Ukraine not to enter NATO. But Ukraine wants to go to NATO.
Right. It does, exactly. And that's such a pressing topic because, the thing is Russia, no one wants war per se, but they have conflicting agendas in general. And that, like I said, that's what keeps putting the pressure on this situation and keeping that risk off sentiment flowing. I want to add one more thing to what you just said, Ivan, too. So here's the thing, you guys, when we're watching a market, we're talking about news. A lot of times you hear Ivan and I, we discuss things like NFP, unemployment, right? Interest rates, things like that. That stuff is slightly more forecastable than something like this, where you're, like Ivan just said, similar to with Brexit, you have just these huge sentiment swings that come out of nowhere. And that is super concerning for markets. And you're seeing moves. Again, a lot of times we see these forecastable, to some degree, swings that kind of make sense with the news that's scheduled news. When this is just all of a sudden things are hitting the floor on the news stations, that stuff is really, really hard to see coming and causes some crazy volatility on a lot of pairs.
Absolutely. And it all depends like who says what. But another thing to Russia is I don't think this is a war. I don't think this is actually going to happen. But a pro tip here is ego, domestic, and to show who's the powers. Because now we have superpowers.
Right.
But what you haven't mentioned here is China.
What's your
There's a war
take on
with
that? I'm
America.
curious.
No, it's China sees now the opportunity to start messing around in Taiwan because they want to. Well, they have some conflict over some islands. China means that it's their territory. Americans are fighting for Taiwan, and they have like this war over there. But that's not the headline right now, right?
Right.
So it's a disguise. Because China is
Interesting.
supporting Russia in this case. So if they can make America go to Europe and fight in Europe, so they don't send ships to China, clever? I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
so
that's an interesting take too, and it does kind of set. We won't get into full blown politics or anything like that. But I will say this: it does kind of set the tone for what China can potentially get away with, or what they're they're watching Russia do this, and they're saying, well, what can we do? How's the U.S. going to react to something like this? And that's certainly something that will impact markets. But I do want to ask you. So you mentioned gold. What's your thoughts on gold? And if you have any trade ideas in the midst of this, what are you thinking? Are there any pressing trade setups, whether it be on gold or something else that you're looking at?
Yeah, the future. Yeah, I know. First of all, don't buy gold. Second of all, don't sell gold. Okay, and it's so now if gold was volatile, if gold was dangerous, if gold was not an asset to trade, it has become way more volatile. So the first second the market sniffs that this war thing might be over, we're going to turn, and it's going to be hard. The question becomes, so we're going to go higher. We can all agree on that. The question becomes, when do we fall? And and the higher we go, and the more we proceed, the higher the fall. I don't know if you saw the COT on oil, for example. As oil goes higher, more and more takes profit because the higher gold goes, the more the risk to reward ratio goes down, and the more FOMO it becomes.
Sure.
So, right now, I have said, or I would like to say at least, is shorter time time frames, small lots, and if then only use your strategy. And if your strategy does not fit into this market, don't trade.
Sure. And so short term, are you bullish biased, or just going with the flow? What are you thinking?
Go with the flow, 15-minute time frame, 5-minute time frame, whatever your strategy is that you have proven demo that is profitable. Sure. And if that doesn't fit whatever the market is right now, there is no business for you. Because right now, if Forex is gambling, we are on the edge there, right? It's not in a normal. This is extreme volatile out there.
Unexpected. Sudden news. Yeah, I'm with you. So let's say, keeping position sizes small, going with the flow. Where are you looking at gold as a potential buy if you had to?
If if you said that I will I need to support and resistance.
Yep.
Back to 1860 and higher. But also we can go down here. So I'm just saying that out loud, so that this is not anywhere near any investment advice whatsoever. But
Sure.
go with the flow, find support. Right now it's a higher high. Okay, we can't do anything, but sure. Where can we go to?
Yeah, I'm curious. Where you think
1900 maybe.
Okay. Yep. Big round number. So Ivan, I shared something kind of similar with gold. And I discussed it on my stream here just a second ago. I talked about, the idea of if it pulls back to that structure, perhaps going long. I'm curious how you would place a stop loss in terms of managing that sort of trade. I want to see if it's similar to me or different, but I'd love to see your thoughts in terms of stop loss placement, entries, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well below structure.
Sure.
Is there one psychologist trick that the market knows is to go just below the previous candle, take everyone out, and then go up again?
Right.
So now you can't be a part of the crowd. If you're going to be a part of this game now, you have to not be in the crowd. And if you are going to trade it, you also have to be very sure that you actually are very wrong about the market right now.
Right. And I think, what's so interesting is it's such a day trader, if anything, it's a day trader's market right now, in my opinion. You've got these news spikes that are coming in and, causing these big swings, but then they swing back the other direction. And so I think a day trader's perspective right now and keeping stops tight, not taking on huge risk or huge positions, but just kind of going with flows seems to be the way to go right now. Look at that Euro USD. We're looking good today, huh, Ivan?
Hey, girl.
Hey, not bad.
It's just I'm just trying to debunk something here. What is this market? This market looks extremely normal.
Right.
Support and resistance, break retest, whatever you call it. It's a new lower low, comes up to resistance, new lower low, comes up to resistance. No crazy banana things. But I have seen someone say buy or sell. I don't think buying right now is the best option without saying anything else than that. I've also seen someone saying buy all your Aussie, which is also some of the similar markets. I just want to mention to you, please. If this is the market that you have on demo that you can prove that is profitable, sure. But I would never buy this now.
Yeah, it's definitely a very hot topic pair. And again, the proximity to the situation in Russia and Ukraine just has me staying away from, obviously I'm short on the euro, long on the dollar. So that's just my take as well. So Ivan, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you for coming on to the show. Guys, you guys are in good hands. You've got Mr. Ivan to guide you to success. So Ivan, have a great rest of your stream, man.
Thank you. Now, while he is gone,
Interested in seeing our trades live as they happen? By joining the A1 Trading Discord, you'll get a notification every time one of our traders enters a position. Each trade we share comes with an entry price, a stop loss, and most importantly, a full breakdown of why the trade was taken. Learn alongside our experienced traders, join our active chat room, and ask your questions in our coaching webinars. Between our team of active traders, we trade Forex pairs, commodities like gold and oil, crypto, and stocks. By joining the group, you'll be able to keep up with all of it. Sign up today using the link in the description, and don't forget to use our promo code listed below for a special subscriber discount. Thanks for watching, and see you inside.